Hi everybody and welcome back to the newest edition of Deep Thoughts. Today's Deep Thoughts is a video Deep Thoughts on the Swimming and Diving GLIAC Championship. First up we have Chelsea Giessen swimming the 1,000 yard freestyle. She placed 29th out of 33 other girls. Here we have me swimming the 1,000 yard free. I placed 17th out of 20 other swimmers. Next up, we have Casey Windle swimming the 1,000 yard free. She's in lane 8, the last girl on the opposite side of the camera. She placed 26th out of 33 in the 1,000 yard freestyle. Next up is the women's 200 yard medley. That relay features Andy Armstrong, Lauren Menicucci, Casey Windle, and Chelsea Giessen. They placed 9th out of 9. Here we have the 200 yard Medley Relay, featuring Ivan Sismar, Julian Milowsky, Dave Giessen, and Cole Leonberg. They placed 4th out of 7 teams. Up next was the women's 200 yard freestyle relay. That featured Lauren Menicucci, Ashley Rand, Chelsea Giessen, and little Andy Armstrong. They placed 9th out of 9. Up next was the 200 men's freestyle relay. That featured Julian Milowsky, Dave Giessen, Cole Leonberg, and the Nicky Buckel. We placed 7th out of 7. Next up, we have Lauren Menicucci in the 200 yard individual medley. But before I get to the results, we have a quick word from little Chelsea Giessen.
Wait, do that again. Hi, Lauren. You're going to be watching this later.
Thank you, Chelsea. Lauren placed 13th out of 31 other girls. Next up is Julian Milowsky in the 200 yard individual medley. Not only did Julian win his race, but he qualified for nationals and he set the Giessen pool record and the GLIAC Championship meet record in the process. Next up we have Chelsea Giessen in the women's 50 yard freestyle. Chelsea placed 42nd out of 47 women. She came 1 second short of shaving the head of Coach Mike Azzarello. Next up is the 400 yard women's medley. That relay featured Lauren Menicucci, Casey Windle, Chelsea Giessen, and Andy Armstrong. They placed 9th out of 9. Next up is the men's 400 yard medley relay. That featured Julian Milowsky, Dave Giessen, Cole Leonberg, and Ivan Sismar. They placed 4th out of 7. Here we have Nick Grandpa Brown in the 400 individual medley. He placed 21st out of 22 people. Here we have me standing behind the block before my 400 individual medley. Please excuse my tiger scars, they are very noticeable. I placed 20th out of 22 people. Later that night, Lauren Menicucci swam in the 400 individual medley, placing 8th out of 25 people. Next up, we have Julian Milowsky and Ivan Sismar in the 400 individual medley. Julian is in lane 3, Ivan is in lane 6. Julian placed 3rd, and Ivan placed 5th out of 22 people. Next, we have Dave Giessen and Cole Leonberg in the 100 fly. Cole placed 14th and Dave 15th out of 25 other swimmers. After being on the receiving end of some motivational facepalms, Andy Armstrong was ready to go out and placed 26th out of 32 other swimmers in the women's 200 yard freestyle. Next up we have Nick Grandpa Brown in the 100 yard breaststroke. He placed 15th out of 19 swimmers. Next up we have Ivan Sismar in the 100 yard backstroke. Ivan placed 7th out of 22 other swimmers. Next up, we have the women's 800 yard freestyle relay. That featured Casey Windle, Ashley Rand, Andy Armstrong, and Chelsea Giessen. They placed 9th out of 9. Next up, we have the men's 800 yard freestyle relay. That featured Nick Brown, Nicky Buckel, Cole Leonberg, and Ivan Sismar. We placed 7th out of 7. Next up is me, Nicky Buckel, swimming in the 1650 freestyle. I placed 15th out of 16 other swimmers. Next up is Casey Windle in the 1650 freestyle. She placed 20th out of 22 swimmers. Next up, we have Ivan Sismar in the 200-yard backstroke. He placed 3rd out of 21 people. Congratulations, Ivan. Next up, we have Andy T-Rex Arms Armstrong placing 28th out of 35 in the 100-yard freestyle. Next up, we have Lauren Menicucci in the 200-yard breaststroke. She placed 15th out of 25 other girls. Next up, we have Nick Grandpa Brown in the 200-yard breaststroke. He placed 19th out of 23 other swimmers. After Grandpa raced, Dave Thiessen took the block and placed 17th out of 23 other swimmers in the 200-yard men's breaststroke. Next up, we have Julian Milowsky walking out to the theme song Barbie Girl. He chose it because he's a Backstreet Boy. After the walkout, Julian went and swam a good race, placing 2nd in the 200-yard breaststroke. Next up, we have Casey Wendell in the 200-yard fly. She placed 8th out of 17 other girls. Next up, we have Dave Thiessen and Cole Leonberg in the 200-yard fly. Dave placed 13th, he is in lane 2. Cole placed 15th, and he is in lane 8, the opposite end of the camera. Here is the 8th placing 400-yard women's freestyle relay, featuring Casey Wendell, Chelsea Giessen, Lauren Menicucci, and Andy Armstrong. This is the first time Chelsea has ever podiumed. This was also her last race of her career. This was the last and final race for the GLIAC Championships, and it was the men's 400-yard freestyle relay, featuring Dave Thiessen, Ivan Sismar, Julian Milowsky, and Cole Leonberg. They placed 7th. Here's where we officially said goodbye to our seniors. Leaving the team is Nick Grandpa Brown, this was his 2nd year on the team, and Chelsea Giessen. This was her 2nd year on the team as well. Good luck in the future, guys. After the final day of races, the men were placed 6th out of 7 teams, and the women placed 9th out of 9 teams. Well, that's all I have on the GLIAC Championships. These were my deep thoughts. Thanks for stopping by.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.